Why, hello there. Fancy meeting you here at this 5 p.m. Croatia time on a Friday for, you guessed it, 5 Question Friday. Yay! My name is Cam. I'm your once a month, sometimes more, host of 5 Question Friday, the show where we answer 5 of your questions that you send in to us through Instagram, Facebook, TikTok, Twitter or X, whatever it's called these days, LinkedIn, our 5 Question Friday form from our website, YouTube, my consulting sessions, Sarah's consulting sessions. Sometimes you email them into us, and then we kind of keep them in a roster, and we have a whole bunch, and then we get to choose and pick and choose which ones we want to answer on Friday. And you're here for it. So thanks for joining me. Welcome. I guess I will start with telling you where I am today. I did put a little teaser picture into our stories, but I didn't share very much. So, I usually lately, if you've been noticing, I've been posting in our stories. I've only done it a couple times of a city that I'm in and giving you guys little clues and asking questions. I didn't do that for this one. I didn't have time, truthfully. By the time I scoped out a location and prepped the cover photo, had a coffee, which was obviously obligatory, and then made my way back to this location, I ran out of time to do a little bit of more of a teaser on the stories. But if you haven't figured it out already from the backdrop behind me, I am in Ogulin. It is my first time here. Special thanks to my friend Luca, who brought me here today, which has been great because I have been homesick the last couple of days and off work and recovering. So it feels really good to be outside, to be walking around, and to come to this magical little town that I really didn't know very much about, but in preparation for this 5 Question Friday episode, I did a little bit of research. So I want to share with you a bit about this really, really cool place. And I gotta say, so first time here, what a cool vibe, spirit, feeling this town has. It's small, but there's different areas. I'm in a park right now overlooking a chasm. Okay, let me give you a little bit of history, and then where I am will make a lot more sense. So again, welcome to 5 Question Friday. Maybe you're watching this live. Maybe you're watching a replay on Instagram or YouTube. Happy to have you. Looking forward to answering today's questions. But I want to tell you a little bit about Ogulin today. Okay, so where are we in Croatia? We are in between the regions of Gorski Kotar and Lika. And interestingly enough, when you sort of figure out where is Ogulin, they're non-committal. They're a little aloof about, do they fall under Lika? Do they fall under Gorski Kotar? So I'm sure if you ask different people, they may say different things. But that's what I learned. Ogulin was founded by Bernard Frankopan, yes, of the famous Frankopan family. And he built the Frankopan castle, which is here right behind me. There she be. And it was originally a fortress to keep the Ottomans out. And now it houses the Ogulin Heritage Museum. It's really beautiful. It's small, but I don't know. She's real pretty. Folklore and magical heritage runs very, very deep in Ogulin. I'm learning this. I've met a few people from here, and I've heard a bit about their magicalness. And it's kind of really cool. And the park that I'm in really reflects that history of their magicalness. So I did a little bit of digging for some of their folklore and mythology, and I wanted to share a couple of pieces of that with you guys. So I'm actually standing alongside a park, and all of this behind me is really, really low, and there's a chasm that is literally to the right of me. And this is called Jula's Abyss, or in Croatian, Julin Ponor. So the Dobra River goes into a really, really deep sinkhole right next to the castle called Julin Ponor. And it's named after, the story is so sad. It's named after a young noblewoman named Jula. And she leapt into the chasm after finding out that her fiancé was killed in the war. And okay, so you read this and you're like, oh, okay. And then I came to it, and there are these 2 lookout points. Actually, there are more than 2 lookout points, but 2 little ones that jet out. But you do also have to cross over the chasm to get to this little park. And it is like, takes your breath away. And like, it's the first thing you think of when you see it, and you feel, okay, so this is like that duh. You feel her when you see this chasm for the first time. I think I'm saying it right. I've lost my English words. It certainly isn't chasm. I think it's chasm. But it's eerie. It's really, really eerie. And I saw that they have a spotlight, so they keep it lit up at night. I bet it's even eerier in the night. So that's here. There's also a really cool tidbit. Ivana Barlic-Majoranic was also born in Ogulin, and she wrote a lot of fairy tales. She's famously kind of referred to as sort of the Hans Christian Andersen of Croatia, except a woman. Yeah. And she was very, very inspired by Slavic mythology and the gorgeous landscape around her. And Ogulin is stunning. And one of the, there's also a museum here right across from the castle. I think maybe it's even this little building. No. Anyways, it's like literally right here as well. There's a museum dedicated to her as well, dedicated to her legacy. But this sort of like feeling of the landscape comes from this mountain that's right there that you guys can't see. And even if I turn the camera around, it's hidden by trees. But if you're coming to Ogulin from the highway, it sticks out like a sore thumb. Not like a sore thumb, but it sticks out like a giant, because it literally looks like there's a giant sleeping after a really good meal on top of this mountain range. And this is called Klek Mountain, K-L-E-K. And it is often referred to as the sleeping giant by locals. And it was really cool when we were driving. I was like, that's it! It's gotta be it! That's gotta be it! And it's totally it. So you can't see it from all parts of the town, but you can definitely see it when you're driving into the town. And you can't take your eyes off of it. It's really, really cool. So a little bit about Mount Klek. The legend says, and this is super cool. I mean, everything that I discovered about this place is super cool. The legend says that during stormy nights, sometimes around midnight, you can hear witches and fairies and elves who gather from all over the world on Klek, and they dance and they scream, and you can hear their screams reach as far as Ogulin. I totally want to be here for a storm now. So that's where I am. Welcome to 5 Question Friday, where we answer 5 of your questions. And let's get started. Here we go. All right, question 1 came to us from Michelle on Instagram, who I was chatting with. Hey, Michelle, if you're tuning in. Her question was, do you know of a guide for disabled parking in Zagreb or Croatia in general? So I did look into Zagreb specifically for her on our call, or on our chat, rather, through Instagram. But there is an EU disability parking ticket that you can get if you meet certain requirements, or I guess meet a certain criteria. The disabled person, first of all, must be a legal resident of Croatia to get this parking pass. And then they're very specific about the level of inability. So basically, you have to have established 80% or more physical damage to your body, which results in an inability of the lower extremities of 60%. Very, very weirdly specific. And you have to be included in the Register of Persons with Disabilities, which is kept by HZZO, by the Croatian Public Health. A European parking ticket is valid only when the vehicle is operated by that person, or that person is in the vehicle. So if the vehicle has the pass, but the person who needs it with the disabilities is not in the vehicle, that's a big problem. You can submit an application and I have contact information. So if you are in Croatia and need this information, reach out to us. And if you don't know how to do that yet, because maybe it's your first time joining us, you can send us a DM through Instagram. There will also be resources in the YouTube. If you scroll down in the YouTube section under the video, and you can always email us or send us a form through our website, and I'm happy to send that to you. But I also shared, there's this really, really cool blog or guide or interview rather that we did on our website with a Croatian travel blogger for people with disabilities, and that's Slaven is his name, and he talks about Croatia's lack of support for people with disabilities in his blog. So check that out if you want some more information. Like I said, we can send you the link on how to get a parking permit in Croatia. I've also got the guide specifically for the Zagreb Parking Authority as well. And then the interview with Slaven can also be checked out either by the comments below in YouTube or DM via Instagram. I'm all over the place. Okay, thank you so much for that question, Michelle. Question number 2 comes to us from Chris via the 5-Question Friday form. Is it normal to pay rent in cash? Great question. So to expand on the question, when renting a long-term apartment in Croatia, is it safe to pay the landlord in cash after the contract is signed and notarized? Is it normal for both the landlord and me to sign something confirming that they got my cash payment? Or are there better ways to pay rent if I don't have a Croatian bank account? Thank you. Great question, Chris. So if you are paying cash, be sure to have a signed contract, obviously, but with the stipulation that the rent will be paid in cash. We definitely recommend formally signing something that confirms that the cash payments have been sent or received as well. For example, something where the landlord states and signs, I have received X amount of euro from so-and-so on whatever date. That way you have a running tally of payments sent and received throughout the process. Honestly, the majority of landlords in Croatia do take rent payments through direct transfers. However, there are still some super old school landlords who prefer to do business in cash. So it's not totally uncommon to come across in Croatia. So special thanks to Tamara of Resolve Relocation for helping me get the lowdown and the on the boots on the ground, as I like to call them, details about that. We've got some guides for you regarding this topic. So 10 things to know before renting an apartment in Croatia, how to find an apartment or house to rent in Croatia, and also what I always think is really important to know is what are your rights as a renter. So if you'd like those links, send us a message and we'll get them over to you. Oh, hey, Sholta Island Getaway. Nice to see you. Hold on, let me scroll and see. I saw a bunch of people that said hello. Hey, Katie. Nice to see some familiar names. All right, rolling right along here in beautiful Ogulin. Can you guys hear how loud all the birds are? I can see them like flying by. I felt a few drops of rain, but they were very sporadic and there's no clouds. So maybe I'm just delusional and just imagining it. I don't know. All right, question 3 is anonymous, and it's through one of our consulting sessions. And this is, can you really just walk into a police station in Croatia? Anytime there's a question about the police stations, I think it's loaded. Okay, I guess it depends on where you are and what you're trying to get done. But okay, let's talk about the police stations. So in Croatia, the police stations, they offer, or there are a variety of tasks that require you to visit a police station in Croatia. And the police stations are run by MUP, which is the Ministarstvo unutrašnjih poslova, or the Ministry of the Interior. So if you want to apply for your residence permit or citizenship or register your address, get your Croatian ID, your passport, you have to visit the MUP, the police station, your local, usually, police station for this. And there are many of them, but not all of them are administrative police stations. And so, as I said earlier, in theory, yes, you can walk in and just get something done, but how quickly you get something done is relative. So, for example, in Zagreb, if you go to the foreigners department, which is now actually the whole office on the Remetinečki guy, you can take a number at the redomat. So like a little thing that, I don't know what the word is in English, that deals out numbers, like your waiting list number, which is really cool because not all of them have them. Like this is, I don't know about like the other ones, there's like something like a spider web or something floating. I don't know how, like, all the other major cities, if they have the redomat where you take a number and you wait. They have them at lots of banks, but they don't have them at all of the MUPs. But in Zagreb, they do have them at some of them. And it's great because you can take it. There's also some where you can book an appointment ahead of time online. Never done that, but phenomenal. I wish you could do that with all of the MUP stations. But yeah, you can go in, you can pick a number and wait, or you can, if it's one that allows you to book ahead online, I mean, that's ideal because let's be real. Nobody has time to go to MUP and sit there, not even sit there. Like in my MUP, there are no chairs. You stand in a line. And honestly, like you go first thing in the morning. And if you go there, sometimes there's already a line outside and then you have to just like plan B it and be like, nope, I'm not doing this today because you're going to lose like half a day. So yeah, the one in my town functions significantly differently than the big one in Zagreb or the big ones in Zagreb. So, yes, you can walk right in, but be prepared that you're going to lose your whole day. I mean, I guess be prepared with any of the MUPs. But honestly, I had to go to the MUP in Zagreb to do my license. So, when you're here for more than a year, you have to, your foreign license isn't valid anymore after 1 year, and you're able to just exchange it as long as you do it prior to the end of that first year. So we had to take care of that, and we went to Zagreb to do that. And honestly, I was so impressed with it. It was like clockwork. And you know what I have learned about being a Croatian in Croatia is that complaining is like a really big sport here. And so we do complain a lot, but I have to give props to like how much better the MUP is getting. And our experience in exchanging our licenses was extremely positive, and I was very impressed, and it moved very, very quickly, and was organized. And I loved the redomat, and I loved how you could pick what you were there for. So it was really, really streamlined. So yeah, giving some love and non-complaints about bureaucracy in Croatia, which is rare. But I think needed when it's deserved, especially because there are changes being made. And as a resident here, I'm feeling them. And I'm like, woohoo, way to go. Amazing. All right. That's the question. I thought that was a really good one. I don't know if you thought it was a good one, but I thought it was a good one. Let's talk about guides that can help you. We have a guide, how to find police stations in Croatia. And I can send you the link if you need that. All right. Hey, Katie, if you're still here, we have a question that Katie submitted to us from 5 Question Friday form. She's a frequent flyer on the show. And great question. Oh, the sun is shining right down on me, which I'll take it, but I'm squinty now. Are grants taxable in Croatia? And does it differ if it's awarded to a business, nonprofit, or individual person? Thank you. Well, you're welcome. You are here. Hey, Katie. Kai or die. I got that from you, and it's mine now. I've totally adopted it. I love it. Okay, so here's what we've gathered to share with you guys today. So in Croatia, whether grants are taxable really does depend on who the recipient and what type of recipient it is. For businesses, grants are generally considered taxable income and must be included in the corporate tax base. Now, for nonprofit organizations, grants are usually non-taxable unless they're used for commercial activities, in which case they may be subject to corporate tax. Individuals may be taxed on grants if they are considered income, but certain types of grants, such as those for specific purposes like education or welfare, may be exempt from tax. So the key lies in how the grants are used and the recipient's tax status. So we kind of put together this list of according to income tax law, there are certain grants that are not considered income. And I guess, we're using the word grants, and the word grants are used, but it like, I don't know if in English we would use the word subsidy of some sort. Like for example, it says grants for war invalids and their families, social grants, benefits is the word that I was looking for, right? Newborn benefits and child allowance, grants for property destruction due to natural disasters, grants for property destruction due to war, one-time grants for children in the event of the death of a parent, assistance and support that nonprofit organizations pay to their members under the same conditions from funds collected through membership fees, that are not generated from performing activities and that are subject to the obligation to pay profit tax, and then grants for schooling of children under 15. But here's the deal. Ultimately, this is a tax question, and if you're looking for information on your specific situation, honestly, like anything to do with taxes in Croatia, I'm like, speak to a tax specialist. They're the ones that know. They'll be able to give you proper advice on your situation, to be able to guide you if you're trying to make plans for something, and to really help you to understand what your obligations are and understand sort of what you're getting into. So if you want to connect with the tax specialist, we can definitely introduce you to one and connect you to one. But we also have a guide for you. Of course we do. Was there ever any doubt? Government grants and loans for entrepreneurs in Croatia is the guide that I have to share with you. Thanks for the question, Katie. You're welcome. You're welcome. So nice to see you. Okay. Last question. How did that happen so fast? Oh, that sun, guys. That sun. I love it. Hear those birds? I'm loving Ogulin. I can't wait till this is done. I mean, that's not what I mean, but let me finish my sentence. I can't wait till this is done, and I'm going to go sit in a kafić, and I'm going to go have another cup of coffee because Croatia. And I'm just going to sit and listen to the birds and revel in this beautiful setting of the sun and early evening of Croatia, and live the dream. Because really, it's Hrvatska. And like when I was driving here, I had to pinch myself because I don't know any other, like, being diaspora and coming back here to live is like a dream. And I do often, have to pinch myself, and I look around and I'm like, oh my God, I live here now. This is my home now. And it makes me so happy. And I know that it makes people who were very close to me who have passed away, I know they're looking down on me and my family, and they're so happy and so proud that we're here. Okay, that was my mushy. Just this place, man, just gets right under your skin. I love it. Okay, back to business. Can someone open up a bank account for me is question 5. It's the final question today. It was sent to us via email, anonymously, asked to be asked anonymously. And here's our answer. So you need to be here in person in Croatia to open up a bank account. You also have to be a long-term resident. You need to have an OIB number, and you need a reason. You can't just open up a bank account just because. The bank will ask you for proof of why you need the bank account, and this has become a very, very strict policy, especially over the last couple of years. If the reason for opening the account is a salary, you will have to present the work contract to the bank. Most banks require a copy of the entire work contract that you have with the employer. There are some banks that just ask for the first page, so it really depends. I would recommend setting up an appointment with like one of the bankers where you sit down, you can chat with them, understand what kind of account it is, what you need to open, what documents. They're really great at guiding you through the whole process. If the reason for opening the account is property ownership, you'll need to present a land registry extract showing that you are the owner of the property. If you plan to pay bills from this account, it's really a good idea to sign up for internet banking through the various businesses, whether it's like HEP or like whatever they are, and pay the bills online. It's much easier, especially if you're not here too, right? But yeah, even if you're here, I like paying my bills online. It's fabulous. All right. That's the question. So unless you have a valid reason, you can't open it. And if you're not here, somebody else cannot open it for you. That's the bottom line. guides. Do I need to open a Croatian bank account? A bank account in Croatia? That's the guide, and we can send you the link if you send us a DM, or in YouTube you can check it out down below. And that's the episode for today. Thank you for joining me. Sarah will be back next week. I hope you guys enjoyed her episodes from the States. She's back on Croatian soil where she belongs. She's back on Croatian soil, which is fabulous. So she will be joining you next week, or you'll be joining her, whatever way, however you want to look at it. I'm going to go enjoy my coffee now. I'll share with you on stories some of the pictures of the chasm, of the castle, so you guys can get a little bit more of a look into Ogulin. But if you are driving along the highway, the Split Zagreb highway, as you're approaching Karlovac, if you're coming from the coast towards Zagreb, it'll be before Karlovac. If you're going the other way, it'll be after Karlovac, and it's definitely worth a stop. Stop. Okay, that's it. I'm gonna go. Thanks so much for joining me. Ciao. Bok.